What's going on, everybody? ChaseWins.com coming to you with video number 2 for Wednesday, but this video is actually going to be for Thursday and the 30th of December. I actually just loaded another video, the video for Wednesday. Just got that fully loaded and posted just a couple of minutes ago, and all the plays are set and done, being posted. Will go out here shortly for Wednesday. So if you're seeing this, it's already Thursday. But the reason I'm doing a video now is because things that I've got going on tomorrow afternoon may keep me from recording one. And there's a play that I like right now for a multitude of different reasons. But I also think that maybe some people are, I guess, somewhat overlooking a few things. And I think that what went on in the regular season is kind of overshadowing what's going to happen, in real time tomorrow. Now, the reason that I won't post this video today and I'll wait till tomorrow is because obviously I want to confirm a couple of things that I'm getting ready to tell you, which I guess you could say are rumors, but they're not a secret, but I guess they haven't been officially confirmed by staff or coach or anything like that, so you can't take them as law just yet. So I want to confirm that those things take place, as well as just making sure that there's no major shifts in the line, and obviously if there is, why there is, things like that. But if everything keeps going in the trend, in the way that it's going, and it keeps trending the way that it is trending, and I think that's going to be trending to kind of stay right around where it is, then we'll have us a nice play. And I'm going to go ahead and record it now, just in the off chance that I can't record one tomorrow and everything stays the same. This will be your free play. So obviously I can't do a recap for Wednesday because the games haven't even started yet. Did have a play, or do have a play in one of the later NCAA bowl games today, as well as a couple of later afternoon college basketball games, and then we've got night college basketball action, NBA action, NHL action, so on and so forth. The video for Wednesday, there's 4 free plays on that. Obviously, again, you watching this video, it won't matter. You've probably already seen it, or hopefully you did, because there was 4 free plays that I did in that one. I was going to do a 5th, and I completely forgot to do it. I was going to give out Sacramento Kings plus the 3. I don't know why. Again, Dallas is the better team, but if you look at the lineups and everything, and not just that, like what's gone on leading up to this game over the past 3 games and their travel schedules and so on and so forth, wrong team's favored in this one. So that's going to be one that'll be on the card for tonight. But anyway, focusing on Thursday, again, nothing really that we can talk about now, so we'll do a recap for all that on Friday, on Friday's video. So what we've got for Thursday is, nothing major to announce yet, but just to kind of hint at it, as I told you earlier in the week, and as we've discussed over the past couple of weeks, looking at big possible releases in the NHL. Now, in saying that, it's only the first week back in the NHL since they went on, over a week where they were postponing 99% of all games. I mean, they went a solid, 8 or 9 day period where only 2 or 3 games in total went off. One of them we had set as going to be it was going to be our first game of the month of the NHL season. And then the morning of, right about 12, 13 hours before game time, as the play is being typed up, I get notice that that game has also been postponed. So, didn't get to do that. But we jumped back at it again last night, having a 3-1 night in the National Hockey League, and the only thing that kept us from having a clean 4-0 sweep was the fact that the San Jose Sharks could not win the game in regulation time. They won, and we took a minus $1.40, but we took it in regulation to get to not pay damn near 200 odds, which we would not do. So we did drop that one, but a 3-1 day overall, so a good day, can't complain. So there is a game, just like I told you the other day, that is this weekend that I am looking at. Again, there's no line on it now, but I mean, obviously with the way things are going, it looks like it's going to be played. The fact that the 2 teams that are involved in this game are going to have not going to have the whole week off, but they're going to have enough rest to make this game be played. And from a competitive standpoint, these two teams are going to be able to play like these two teams should. They're not going to be coming in on overly tired legs because they both played the night before or anything like that. So we're actually going to get something where we can utilize and break this down like a game should be broken down based on the way that the two teams are and their level of talent, as well as what weaknesses they do have. So that is this weekend. Again, there's no line. The line could come out absolutely insane, give no value, and then we wouldn't do anything. But there is the possibility of a big release there, as well as one in the NBA, and well as one in college basketball. NBA this year, the only thing that we've had in over 2 months, again, NBA started in October, guys, and we're getting ready to be in January here in the next 48 hours, and we've only had one big release in the NBA. That's it. We've only had one big release, and it was a game of the week. We've had no second game of the week. We've had no game of the month. So the fact that we haven't done that should just build your suspense even more. Things in the NBA, because lines actually come out in the NBA, in my eyes, sharper than just about any sport second to the NBA. Or, excuse me, second to the NFL. The NFL, in my eyes, if you look at it from a grand scale and say, okay, all 30-something teams, and this is what their lines are, on, based on home and away and everything, and what the odds makers set it at, the most accurate lines based on the outcome of the game overall are probably in the NFL, but not by a large margin. And a close second to that would be the NBA. Outside of that, you can find a lot more potential for making money in college basketball, in the NHL, in Major League Baseball, if you know how to read them. But that's why you see lower volume in something like the NFL for me, where I might average 3 or 4 plays a day across a 7-day span in college basketball, and most days I may even have more than that. But if you actually average it out through 7 days, let's say I average 4 plays a day in college basketball, well, for every 4 plays I release in college basketball, I probably only release 1 in the NBA. And there's usually at least 1, maybe even 2 days a week where I don't have any NBA because the line seemed spot on or within a point of where I had it at, providing no edge. So again, it takes a lot, and I mean a lot, for an NBA play to rank above a top play in, being a game of the week, game of the month, game of the year. So when we have one, know that this has been a lot of work in the making. We didn't have the first one until, mid-late November. We were 6 weeks into the season. It was a Sunday afternoon game, and it was an easy winner nonetheless to cash in our first one. We've had 3 big releases so far in the NHL. We've gone, or I say 3 big ones. We haven't had a game of the month yet. We have had games of the week. We've gone 2-1 in those. We did drop 1, unfortunately. And as far as our college basketball goes, we've only dropped 1 big play there. We won our last one on Oklahoma as a game of the week a couple of Sundays ago. So we're ready to get back into big plays there. We wanted to get through the holidays because a lot of those games just would never meet the criteria of something that big. So right now, 4 big releases, because there's 2 games being looked at in one sport, and that's college basketball. And again, we don't know what's going to make the cut. There could be 4 plays being looked at, and none of them end up making the cut, or maybe 3 out of the 4 make the cut. You don't ever know. But from basically tomorrow, when one of those games is being played, and I'm not going to tell you what sport it's in, all the way through Sunday, you better be on the lookout. Make sure you're watching the videos. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Make sure Twitter in the description below if you're not. Make sure you're on the email list, or if you're already currently on an all sports membership or something like that, no worries. Just make sure you pay attention to your emails. That way, as soon as something were to get locked in and released, you know about it. You can view the play if you're an all access member, or if you're not, you can immediately purchase the play, jump on, avoid any type of line movement or odds changing, against our favor, and get it locked in and cash in with us. Especially if there's going to be more than one in a short period of time, like over the course of one weekend. You don't want to play one and then kick back and just think nothing else is going to happen. That's when you want to make sure that you are ready for the second one, so when that first one cashes, you're already making your second wager and you're getting ready to smack your book in the mouth 2 times over. So make sure you pay attention. Again, that's what we've got going on. We are going to do a little sale this weekend. Haven't done a sale as far as just a normal promo type stuff on a 7-day pass in a while, outside of the coupon code day that we did on Christmas Eve. But again, we want to do something for New Year's. We don't typically offer a ton of sales just because we did so much through the Christmas holiday, that coming right off of Black Friday and Thanksgiving, and then 25 straight days of promos and deals. But I want to give something to you guys. I want to offer something. So again, mulling over a bunch of different ideas of what I want to offer, and so I'll make that final decision again over the next 48 hours before we get to the end of the day on Friday, and let you know what it's going to be. That way on late New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever, you can have the option of saving money or getting whatever it is that we offer. And for everyone that did not buy the college football full season at the beginning of it, shame on you, because you missed out on a fantastic season. Or people that did not jump on the bowl package that was going on. So again, because midnight tonight on Wednesday, that'll be taken down. And so by the time you're seeing this, it won't be offered anymore. But if you didn't, but you still want to get what's going to be taking place on the 2 playoff games, so whether it be picks on the side, the total, premium play, top play, because there's going to be all that, prop bets, player and team props for both of the games, the Alabama-Cincinnati game as well as the Georgia-Michigan game, we want you to be able to take part in it. So I am going to create a playoff-only package where you can get everything in those 2 games, everything offered, and then you'll be able to just get that, where, again, that's something that people have been asking about. So I definitely want to offer that for you. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. Don't worry, check Friday's video. There'll be a lot more info on the potential big games, the sales that we've got coming up for New Year's, and so on and so forth. Enjoy the free plays if you watch Wednesday's video. Again, there's 4 of them in there. I can't tell you the outcome of them yet because they haven't played, but 2 underdogs, 2 favorites, and I forgot to give out the NBA dog, but doesn't matter. If you're on my premium plays, you'll be getting it on the premium card because it's part of it. But anyway, let's get on a free play for Thursday, and I'm going to be looking at the late game, the 10:30 p.m. game for college football, and that is Wisconsin taking on Arizona State. First ever bowl game being played at the new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, home of the Raiders. And again, because COVID messed everything up for 2020, we didn't get to have what was already scheduled to be there. And this is a game that I think was well thought out. The committee that sets these things up and what's the deciding factors for who plays who in these bowl games, I think this year, I want to say they did a good job. I mean, just for Thursday, look at what you've got coming up on Thursday. Purdue versus Tennessee. I think that's a great matchup. And truth be told, do I think that each team, when you look at no matter what bowl game it is, they definitely have certain edges. But I think they're also taking into consideration the likelihood of what players will not play, will opt out because they're going to prepare for the draft or whatever. And most of that is coming true to make, when it all is said and done, these are really good matchups. And they're fairly even matchups based on what you would want out of a bowl game. Case in point, Tennessee and Purdue, I think, is a great matchup. I think Pittsburgh and Michigan State's a good matchup. But I think that this Wisconsin-Arizona State is probably the best of the day in terms of 2 teams that are polar opposites, play in conferences that are absolutely nothing like each other, but they have some similarities. They have a lot more differences, but with what you're not going to have in this game versus the things that are still going to be there, player-wise, I think you're going to be in for a good game. And if you looked at this game at any other time, let's say that this game was being played in September, and both teams were now in rhythm, they had found their footing, they were playing well, they were completely healthy, but they were, again, unfamiliar with each other. Again, Big Ten, they prepare for Big Ten teams. Pac-12, they prepare for Pac-12 teams. And while, yes, you have the occasional, mismatch there where everything overlaps and a Big Ten will play a Pac-12 or anything like that, it's not often enough to ever say that a team is just ready to go face that opponent that is, they just play in a different world than the other. The Big Ten, are they better than the Pac-12? Without question. A blind person would know that within about 5 seconds of listening to a conversation involving the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. But as I said at the beginning of the year, while I like Wisconsin and where they're going and what they're doing, and while I do think that over the past handful of years, how many times have they been in playoff talk? Quite a few. That they were overhyped most of that. This year, case in point, it doesn't matter what they were doing this year. I think they were overhyped at every turn. There was always an excuse from the whole world when they lost. Doesn't matter how they lost, there was an excuse for it. When they won, they made it seem like they did something that was 10 times more extravagant of a feat than what it actually was. So again, I think that that is part of the reason why they are favored the way they are, but I'm not looking at the side because Wisconsin is the better team. And if you look at things, let's look at the QBs. There is a QB out there, both can actually use their legs. One is going to be forced, and this is Arizona State, is going to be forced to prove that he can throw the ball downfield, go deep, and do it consistently. And that is because, look at one of the most stingy ground games in all of football is Wisconsin. And they also, as far as getting rush on the quarterback, putting pressure on them, they're one of the best in the game as well. That, again, with the fact that Arizona State's not as fast as your typical thinking of a Pac-12 team, that's going to mean that, Mr. Legs quarterback who loves to run the ball, who averages more 10-plus yard runs than any other QB in the Pac-12, I think maybe even more than anybody in the nation, do you not think he's going to have a hard time doing that? I think so. So take that into consideration. A QB that feels more comfortable keeping on the ground and running it himself is going to be forced to air the ball out. That could go one of two ways. It could go really good or really bad. But just think about the fact that this guy should, if Wisconsin comes to play, should be airing the ball out at a 10x rate. So we'll keep that in mind. Now let's go to the flip side and let's think about Wisconsin, who is, and again, I don't know how I want to word this. Offensively, I think they leave a lot to be desired. But, in saying that, that's usually because they are playing defense, or their offense is playing against defenses that have like a core 3 or 4 guys that put so much pressure up front that it makes the quarterback either make mistakes, rush a play, or just not think about the whole grand scale and what the best decision to make is. And that's cost Wisconsin in a lot of spots. Now, if you look at Arizona State, look at who their top 3 defenders are. These are all nationally ranked defenders. Well, their top 3 guys are out. They've opted out. They're not going to be there. None of them. So, in that, I believe that Wisconsin is going to have a chance to not just be more productive on offense. And we know that when they play faster-paced teams, they like to pick up the pace and try to score quickly. And I do believe that they'll be able to, again, as long as they play smart, they'll be able to be less prone to mistakes, score earlier, score a little bit more often, maybe burn a little bit less time because they decide to go through the air, get the offense on the field and off the field, leave with points. And again, we go back to Arizona State in this one. Would I feel more comfortable as far as Arizona State scoring points if the quarterback could run freely like we know he wants to? Sure. But the fact that he's going to be forced to air it out unless Wisconsin just doesn't play defense makes me believe that, it doesn't make me believe, it makes me know he's going to have to air the ball out. And that even if he's only playing at half the talent level that he is with his arm, that's going to put points on the board. I think that this total at 42 is because if you look at both teams completely healthy, this line makes sense. Each offense versus the opposing defense, this is a 40 to 50 point game. Then the fact that you think, okay, these guys come in, they're not overly prepared, they're still kind of, I guess you could say they're a little bit rusty because they finish up the season and then they get a little bit of a break for the holidays. Then they got to come back in and kind of crank it all the way back up to 100, playing with some guys that, are not playing with some guys that they're used to, so on and so forth. So then they may diminish it a little bit. If this was a game where the defenders were all still there and you were going to force Wisconsin to potentially make the mistakes, not be able to have the success downfield with their stud receiver, not be able to, when they do keep the ball and run it, when they're burning time, not being able to pick up those yards to stop the clock on the first downs or get to out of bounds, it means a lot of clock burning, lower scoring game. You're going to throw the ball all day long, clocks, incomplete passes, stopping the clock. Receivers catching the ball downfield and running out of bounds, stopping the clock and avoiding getting hit, things like that. And then with Arizona State, how do they know? How does Wisconsin know how to truly come up with a game plan to stop what he's going to do downfield? It's not a secret to Arizona State they're going to have to air the ball out. They know it. So that's what they're working on all week. On the other hand, Wisconsin knows it too, but it's like, what are you going to prepare against? You can go watch film from back in the regular season against Pac-12 teams that didn't defend at all because they're the NBA of college football. And what are you going to say? Okay, he throws the ball literally when he has to, and then he does. There's nothing that shows you that this is his repetitive nature. So they don't know what they're preparing for. They could be preparing for one thing and not see that at all. I believe there will be a lot of offense generated. Now, it has to turn into points on the board if it's going to be a success for us. But I do believe that because of all of those factors, that if both teams come and really want to come and play and win this game, and truly are not already looking ahead, which I don't think either coach in this spot is, because they're still trying to build up somewhat of a resume here. And Wisconsin's coach, how he loves that team, that school. He wants any win he can get. If this was a scrimmage against another team, he would take it seriously. For that reason, I think that this number is just a little bit of an overreaction, and it's also looking at things that, mean nothing in this game because they're non-existent. I think this game should be closer to the 48 range. That would make more sense in this spot based on every component that you would put into the mix player or personnel-wise, as well as just the way the teams match up. I think 42 is too low, man. Hell, I've seen a 41.5 out there. So, again, get it where you can get it. 41, 41.5, 42. Again, on Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, 20 minutes after 4. I would say that you're probably going to find most likely a 42 out there. But if you get a 41.5 or a 40 or a 41, God bless you. Anywhere from 41 to 42, lock it in. I'm taking the over. If it goes above 42.5 and you're up into the 43 or more range by the time you see this, make sure you're on my premium plays, or else bump that down to a lean at best. But anything up to 42, you're good to go. I'm taking the over against Wisconsin and Arizona State on Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Guys, I love you. Be back on Friday for another video and let you know what we've got going on for New Year's. Again, everybody's asking, like, hey, what's the stuff coming up? You will find out soon enough. I'm excited to tell you, and I'll see you back for another one. Everybody that joins us, we will see you in the winner's circle. Have a good one.